What's up, SDB? It's Alex back with a video for week 2 of season 6. You might have noticed that I'm wearing a fun shirt. That's because I think this is going to be a fun match. I'm playing Ikana. He's one of my boys. He's my partner and co-champion for SDB season 5. And this week I'm going to absolutely make him quit Pokemon with my new team. So let me get the main screen all pulled up. All right. So there's a couple changes to my team this week. My person running my team, Bombi or AJ, has gifted me with Mega Swampert and Delmise. He has taken away Mega Tyranitar, and who was the other guy he took from me? I actually don't even remember. Trades. I lost Mega Tyranitar and Gigalith. So Sand really does not exist anymore on my team. I just got Hippowdon as one of my sand setters, my only sand setters, where I used to have 3, but I think the team's a lot better for it overall. I've been talking with AJ. I'm hoping that each time I lose a match, he can slightly buff my team. But I think that what he wants to do is basically just counterpick Ikana and Chad as much as possible for the next 2 weeks, just because he's got power to do so, so he's going to do it. So Ikana's got a good team. It's a little bit slow. His fastest Pokemon are Screamtail and Talonflame, but then there's a really big drop off, and I think that after that it's Quickwavel and Glamora, who both set probably around, I think, 85 speed, 86, and 85. And Talonflame and Screamtail, I don't really have anything on my team that's going to outspeed them except for Swampert and Rain, so I'm not going to be speed creeping anything except for these sort of mid speed Pokemon, the ones sitting in the 80s. He's got a lot of priority too. He's got Mega Scizor, Ursaluna, Vacuum Wave, Raging Bolt. I think Quickwave might get Sucker Punch. So it gets Aqua Jet. Then he's got Talonflame with Gale Wing. So I'm actually just going to make a list of his priority going in because I think that that's going to be more important than speed tiers because a lot of what I'm going to be doing is just playing around this priority. Other things he's got on his team, so he's got these big 3 here, obviously. Mega Scizor, Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Raging Bolt. Quickwave, which has a good chance of 6-0ing me if it gets going. I'm not going to have a ton that can shut it down and stop it. Glamora for some hazards. Tangrowth, Screamtail as walls. Talonflame is a good pivot. And then he's got Grident with Normal Ghost and Poison as his Terramon. I think Grident probably stays on the bench. It's just not really that strong. It doesn't counter anything specific on my team. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I think probably he's going to stick to these good mons to start with. So the first thing that I saw when I was looking at this matchup is that Mega Swampert is really good into this roster. Scizor, it's only hitting neutrally, but hitting things neutrally in the rain is going to be really strong. Ursaluna gets hit by Water Move. Raging Bolt gets hit by Ground Move, and Swampert is immune to the Thunderclap. Quickwave is not very bulky. Glamora, Water Move, Ground Move. And then you run into some of the things I'm going to have problems with. So Tangrowth is, I think, the obvious check to Mega Swampert because it resists both of its stabs. Even a Ice Punch isn't going to do a lot to Fizz-Def Tangrowth. So my first thought when I was looking at this matchup is, how can I build around taking out Tangrowth with Swampert so that it has a little bit more free reign to run against the rest of his team and just throw out strong stab moves in the rain. So here's kind of what it looks like. Even with no investment, Giga Drain is killing Swampert. Ice Punch from even 252 Adamant. It's doing 30, with Regenerator, that's not doing anything. So my first thought is, Ikana is really incentivized to run this physically defensive Tangrowth. Like, maybe not this exact set, but something like this, where it's Bold, 252, 252, Regenerator, Rocky Helmet, just anything to keep the Swampert from being able to make progress. I know Ikana's team building in general, he likes to favor some of these more like bulky, slow mons. He plays kind of a longer game. He likes to have sort of a check or an answer to everything. And I think that in looking at my new team with Mega Swampert in the rain, Tangrowth stands out as the obvious answer. And Swampert is so good that it is going to be on this team. It's going to be my first mon for sure. Even though it's obvious that I'll be running that, it's worth it. And I think building around his specific answers to it that he could run is a good idea. So things he could run BizDef, Scizor. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. Bolt and Moon really, you could run like Shuckaberry Moon or Shuckaberry Bolt, Pashaberry Moon or something, but you have to build those things really specifically to be able to do anything in the Swampert. So I'm gonna go ahead and say that those are not going to be as checks. Quaquaval, Glamora, kind of same thing. But then you're under Tangrowth, Screamtail, Flame Body, Talonflame, and I doubt Greedent is really tanking. Oh, yeah, Greedent's got better bulk than I thought, but still 2KO'd by Swampert in the Rain. Um, Trailblaze, if you're this set, probably isn't doing a whole lot of that. Yeah, I mean that's not nothing, but it's not a ton. Yeah, so even if you build this super BizDef whatever Greedent, you're still getting 2 or 3 KO'd. So I'm going to say that the main answers I'm going to have to build around here in terms of best supporting Swampert are going to be Tangrowth, that's the big one, BizDef Scizor, and Screamtail. When I was looking at this team, I kind of put together that I don't need a ton of speed on Swampert if I'm relying on either using it only in the rain or a lot of the things that it's going to come in on are going to be, Ursaluna Blood Moon, which is slow, Raging Bolt, which is not slow, but probably is not going to be running too much speed, and then things like Scizor, which are also pretty slow. So the main kind of speed tiers that I want to outspeed are something like a +1 Quaquaval, because I think Scarf is likely, and the chance that he gets an Aqua Step Up on something is likely, and Talonflame. Talonflame, I don't want to mess around with too much in terms of getting burned, but I might have to once throwing in a liquidation into it. It's just going to be it's going to be a risk that I might have to take, and that he throws out a gamble that my Swampert gets burned. But I'll talk about that more when I talk about the supporting one for Swampert. So 3 to 6, Talonflame, Glamora, which is Glamora and Quaquaval are the other, or some Scarf candidates. They're as fast as Scarf candidates. They would be 298 times 1.5, so 447. So what I want for it is I want 448 divided by 2, 224, and that's really all the speed I need. I think that that's going to outspeed. I mean, I'll check it against Scizor, Ursaluna, and Raging Bolt, but I really don't need too much more than that. And let's see what I need to actually get to that. So what did I say, 224? So 192 without an invested nature gets me there. So let's put on some of the obvious moves. I don't think I get anything better than Liquidation. I could run Aqua Tail, but let's put Liquidation for now, and we'll check the calcs after and say Liquidation, or maybe Aqua Tail. Earthquake, no brainer. Good into a lot of his team. And then here is where I want to run into the Tangled question. So I thought Swampert, Mega Swampert, 95 base special attack. Not as good as 150, but Ice Punch is doing jack shit. Tangrowth. Tangrowth, good chance of running Rocky Helmet, not Assault Vest. Good chance of not running any Spit Up. What's an uninvested Ice Beam? Let's just throw whatever nature on here. What's this Ice Beam doing? That's a 2 KO. That means that if Tangrowth comes in on the switch, tries to wall Swampert, it dies, and then something else dies. I don't know if I want to put, and so here's the other thing I could do too. So looking at the set, I probably want 252 plus attack nature, because I don't need anything more out of Ice Beam than that to kill Tangrowth. So let's go 252 plus nature here. I probably want minus defense nature. That's a little bit scary. I might change that to better. I'm going to make that minus Spit Up. Reason for minus Spit Up is that the only priority that he's going to hit me with, Spit Up wise, is going to be Ursaluna, Blood Moon, Vacuum Wave. That's not a huge threat into Swampert. So I can run what is this? Naughty nature. Naughty Swampert. Chad would be proud. And Vacuum Wave, it's still only doing 20%. So I can take that hit. Raging Bolt, he's probably going to EV it to live in Earthquake. Can he EV it to live in Earthquake? Okay, 252 Naughty. So that's going to be tough, even with some. He's going to have to give it a lot of defense to be able to live, and even with a naughty nature, I love Dragon Pulse. So I think that minus Spadef nature is the way to go. And then last move, there's some options here. I think flip turn is an option. Flip turn is good. I mean, I don't really want to be taking Rocky Helmet Chip. Um, one thing that I want to check is I want to see if, so I do get Poison Jab. Reason being, maybe he thinks I need more than just Tangrowth to answer Mega Swampert. Maybe he thinks that he could run something like Rocky Helmet Screamtail. This is something that we ran a lot in duos. I use mons like this a lot, just to make super physically bulky with Rocky Helmet, just to guarantee that you kind of have an answer. But I mean, so that's actually compare that 36 to 42 to Liquidation in the Rain. Liquidation in the Rain is just gonna be better. So that's not really ever worth it. Let's get Steel, Iron Tail. That's probably not gonna be any better. I can miss only slightly better. So I think I'll just try to maybe get rocks up and go with this. I could also run Stealth Rock, Flip Turn. Stealth Turn's got a lot of moves. So is get that. And bulk up too. That's honestly tempting. But for now, I think that I'm just gonna put in Flip Turn. I'm gonna say other moves, Stealth Rock, bulk up. So, and I think that's a good starting basis. I just want to see what 64 more special attack would do. So Rams is doing 53 to 62. Makes it do 4% more. I think that's less useful than putting that in hit points. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Yeah, because I might take some special hits. I would consider throwing it into just defense, but I might take some special hits. I think this is a good start for the Swampert. This whole strategy is going to rely on Pelipper getting up Rain. Swampert can come in on some of these mons without Rain, like Ursulina Blood Moon and Raging Bolt, Glamora, but I'm going to want Rain. So Pelipper, just no brainer. Probably want Damp Rock. Most turns Swampert gets when it's 2-hit KOing or 1-hit KOing is going to be good. Gonna want a pivot move, probably want it to be super slow. Let's just go. This is kind of a tentative check to Quable. And what I want to see out of this is plus defense my speed. That's what I got. I want to see whether Hurricane is killing Quable here and what I'm kind of worried about. Hurricane, it can't really touch me back. I would get free rain up. I want boost for some longevity. What do I need to kill this thing? I'm just going to go ahead and build this so that I can guarantee kill the Quable. Just so that that's one less thing I have to worry about. I want it to be slow for slow U-turns. Hurricane and Roost. Is there anything that would I want defog? Not really. I think that I'm going to wind up having Delmise on this team. So I'll just go with Scald. I think that that is going to be pretty good into his whole team. Scizor, next Scizor. Doesn't really want to take. I think Scald is better because I can burn it. Yeah, that's pretty good into 252 HP. That's even a pretty bulky Scizor. I'm not taking a ton from Scizor back. Okay, so yeah, I like this Pelipper. I think it's pretty good into both Quaquaval and Mega Scizor, who are good win cons for him normally. I think that this can come out on Talonflame pretty much for free. And really his only answers to this are actually looking at this team Pelipper is pretty good. Ursulina Blood Moon doesn't really want to come in. And in fact, I'm going to only partially dump my speed because I want to be slower than, let's see, what was my speed too? Tangrowth I would stand on Hurricane, so I don't need to worry about that. Is there any reason to dump my speed on this actually? Not really. I kind of want to outspeed. The only thing that I want to underspeed is Scizor, so I might not even need to dump my speed here. It's a zero speed Caesar looking like. Okay. So you could make that pretty slow if you wanted to, but I like the idea that Pelipper is slow, but it's not that slow. I'm even going to drop attack here, just to give myself the best chance of outspeeding Ursulina Bloodmoon and just getting a free Scald of Rain. Oh, that does so much damage. Okay, Pelipper is looking a lot better than I thought, actually. Is this worth... Actually, I mean, Raging Bolt can come in on Pelipper for free every time. So that's always something you to consider, that if he has Raging Bolt alive, then it can come in with Pelipper. But Pelipper does really well into the rest of his team, so I think that I like this having a little more longevity with Roost. Scald Hurricane, U-turn. That U-turn is not bad, so I think that I do want to make this minus speed nature. And 149 outspeeds an Ursulina Bloodmoon that doesn't have any speed. Outspeeds Tangrowth, which it's just a little bit slower than that. Raging Bolt and Scizor are always going to be faster than me unless I invest. Specifically, Quaquaval is saying Glimmer the same. And what's Malamar? Malamar is pretty slow. 70, oh, okay, it's not that slow. Okay, then I like that feature. Greedent's slow, but I'm never going to underspeed Greedent. So this is the base of the team. And then, let's see, Pelipper, good counts. Well, there's Merlo then. Like if it gets Baton Pass or something. So let's put in things I need an answer to. So the team is looking good, but I need ways to get in Pelly and Swampert, ways to keep Swampy healthy, ways to deal with Bolt, with Wave Insurance, Hazard Control. I think this is a good baseline about what I want to be thinking about here. So Pelipper going to be taking a lot of damage anytime it comes in on rocks. I have a Delmise. I think that it's good to use. It's pretty bulky, and with this team, with Swampert putting out so much of the offense, I really just need things around that are going to be able to make some amount of progress. So what do I want this thing for, actually? Decent into Raging Bolt. It's okay into Glamora. I'm probably going to want this to be bulky. It's spin blocks, but his spinner is Glamora, which it uses Mortal Spin, so it's not really a spin blocker against Glamora. It doesn't spin block against Quaquaval, and Caesar defogs. Probably one thing I want to be able to do is put pressure on the Scream Gel, because I don't want that thing wish passing around. I like the idea that I could trap it. It might have Baton Pass, but Baton Pass, Anchor Shot. I might trap the next thing comes in. But let's just run through Stillmize, Blank Set, Anchor Shot. Right. As before, this thing's probably going to be defensive. He might have some speed on it. What's another option? Does it get Heavy Slam? Yeah. I like the idea of being able to trap it, but it's probably going to have Baton Pass, and Heavy Slam is going to do more. So let's just go Rapid Spin, Heavy Slam, and look at some of the other things that I want it to do. It is a really good switch into Ursaluna, because it's, well, actually, Ursaluna gets Scrappy. Yeah. Sure. Not so good of a switch into Ursaluna. I gotta remember, it's got Scrappy. It's mine's not do anything other than Scrappy. So it's Ursaluna, Blood Moon, clicking Blood Moon is going to be tough for me to deal with. Delmise is not going to be an answer to it. That is good to know. But I could take one. If I got 252 hit points, this is modest. Could be specs, but probably isn't going to be specs because that's going to be setup fodder. Let's see what a Power Whip does under this thing. Not bad. Ursaluna Blood Moon is more Spidef weak than anything, but I think Power Whip is a good move. Let's see what other moves I could have on this thing. Could have Earthquake for the Raging Bolt. Knockoff is always good. Sword Stance, but it's too slow to really make use of that. Block is funny, but I think not that useful. His team's going to have a lot of pivoting, and the things that I am switching into, they could have ways of beating me anyway, even if they get trapped with like Combine or something like that. Could have rainy day, rain dance as a secondary setter. That'd be funny. Um, let's check out what Earthquake is doing on this interior region. Quake it's a pretty clean to a KO, and this is a Raging Bolt that has some weird hit points defense investment. That set makes me want to go Assault Vest 252 and Assault Vest. I think makes me a much better check into this. I mean, I still take a lot from a Draco Meteor, but let's say this is Specs Meteor. I'm at least taking one and can do some damage back. I like Rapid Spin for the longevity. Let's check how I'm doing in a quick wave that has actual. That's doing a lot, but I'm moving it. So I can live one of those and power with it. I mean, Delmize is a 5-point Pokemon. If it can trade with one of these guys, that's good for me. I want it to. Okay, so this does pressure the Glamora. And having the Glamora is. That makes me want to run Anchor Shot because I'm imagining a lead situation where he leads Glamora and he's trying to get up hazards. And I Anchor Shot it and it's stuck and I Rapid Spin it and kill it. But I think it's just as likely that he leads Talonflame and I don't really want to stay in on that because I'm not going to have any great way of hitting it. So I'm going to say likely leads, Glim, Flame, and maybe Quack. This is good into two of those, but it's not good into Talonflame, but it's an option. So what do I want to do the rest of this? So I'm going to see how far, I think it's a lot of special attack. I want to see how far that Spidef goes. Okay, that makes Blood Moon a lot less scary. Does it have Horn Leech or anything like that? No Horn Leech. Okay, then I'm Power Open. That's Scizor is not going to be a great matchup for me. I would have to switch out Scizor. I so doubt this thing gets any fire moves. Yeah. But I like that for being able to go into Raging Bolt. I think Common Raging Bolt is scary, but not that scary when you've got EV, Box, Spadef, don't minus. Go into attack, so I do a little bit more. Screamtail. I think I 2 KO even max defense fold Screamtail, and that's just nice. Better Scizor answer, Burn Absorber from Talonflame. Those are some other things. So another strategy here that I've been working on in the background is my Charizard strategy. You may think Charizard, Rain Team, Terra types, Fire, Flying, Dragon. Surely you're going to go for some sort of Hurricane spam. And indeed, I have tried to mind game Ikana through our TMs that Hurricane things might be coming. But I don't think that that's the play. I think that Raging Bolt is just too good of a mon into Hurricane sort of play. Hurricane, 21%. This isn't even a spit F Raging Bolt. You could have leftovers, you could have Combine. What's Hurricane going to do that thing? I think that probably Hurricane Terraflying makes a lot of sense on a rain team. And so I think that Raging Bolt might be built to be a specific answer to that. Just Thunderclap and kill it from full. Because look at this, Thunderclap, 131%. So we're going to go Dragon. And the reason we're going to go Dragon is because I ran some calcs. And this thing has a chance of doing some work. This is really the only idea that I have for this thing so far. Terra Dragon, Belly Drum, Blaze Kick, Terra Blast. But just to start, we're going to see how far that can go. Start out as Jolly, just for like worst case situation here. Blaze, I don't know what the item's going to be. I don't know what the item's going to be. I don't know what the fourth move is going to be. But we're going to check out what this does. So Terra type, Dragon. Why aren't these alphabetical? Let's say we get off the Belly Drum. Let's look through his roster. Mega Scizor. 44% Bullet Punch. Let's make that 252 Adamant, because I want to make sure that I can get this. That's going to kill me from half if I don't have something to do about it. So I'm going to go ahead and put Charizard less than 50% from BP. That's going to be a priority. That could be Citrus Berry, that could be some amount of hit points, I don't know, but that's going to be a consideration. Blaze Click, Blaze King, 330%. No boost, this chance of killing. And this Scizor probably has some defense. Yeah, it has a lot of defense. Let's look at those other guys. Ursaluna Bloodmoon. Blaze King, 95 to 113. That's Jolly, that's +6. I might even be in Blaze range, in which case it's super killing. But other consideration is that he could have Vacuum Wave. So let's just calc Vacuum Wave. Let's call it Choice Specs. Who knows? 35%. So I'm all good on that front. If I get the clean Belly Drum, which, you know, the clean Belly Drum, this is all based around him switching in Raging Bolt and me getting a free Belly Drum off. 30%? 100%? Hopefully it's not in the rain. Blaze Kick in the rain is going to change things, but even this, Terra Blast, 90 to 106%. Pick up the other ones. Quick Wable, Terra Blast, 150%, don't even need to worry about it. Lamar, Terra Blast, 137%. Tangrowth, Blaze Kick, 126%. Okay. Blaze Kick, 100%. Probably Bolt variant, 52 Bolt. So pretty good. If I'm in Blaze range, KO. Bolt, that's the best tell. That's the Blaze Kick. Talent Flame. Terra Blast kills him. What's it doing back? Planetary me, who cares? Maybe it will Will-O-Wisp me. Malamar. That's easy. Reading. Done this. This is all Blaze range, but what else could I run? So Blaze Kick, also obviously great in Scizor. Ursaluna Bloodmoon. Let's say I run something like, do I get a fighting move? Fighting move. That would be Break Break. Decent. Consider it. Tangrowth. Maybe I want Wing Beat, but I don't really want to take Rocket Helmet chip. So maybe I would run to a Wing Beat. The reason I would run Terra Blast is because it's Terra Blast contact move. I don't think it is. Does not make contact. So Terra Blast, even if he is some sort of, I don't know, Rocky Helmet, I can 2KO with Terra Blast and not throw my own hit points. Other considerations. Speed, Charizard's Roost. 252 plus, that gets it to 328. Quavel, Jolly, 295. So I don't even know that I need to, yeah. Glamora, let's see, 298. So even without plus speed nature, I outspeed everything relevant. Talonflame and Screamtail, I mean, maybe he Thunder Waves me. That's definitely consideration. I take a lot from Dazzling Gleam. That's consideration for sure. But I like the idea of going with Fairy, Blaze. And I don't need a Salad Berry to outspeed anything. What I really need is to have enough hit points to take priority moves from Scizor and Ursaluna, and to take the odd hit from Screamtail or Talonflame. Let's think about what other moves that I could run here. Could run Roost. That's a chance. That's a possibility. Could run Dragon Dance and have two ways of setting up. I don't mind that. I like playing this Charizard very aggressively, I think. Um, I can come in on Stealth Rock and get the Citrus Berry and still be able to Belly Drum or Dragon Dance. I don't really need any moves other than Terra Blast and Blaze Kick. And the Rain against Tangrowth is going to be a little bit dicey, but if I'm DDing with Charizard, I probably don't have to Rain it. So that's four Pokemon. I've got Fizzduck guy, Baby guy, Charizard guy, Swampert guy. Other things that I think are going to be really important is some support to keep these mods healthy. Looking at my roster, I think Ninetales A makes a lot of sense. I think Snowcloak is banned, unfortunately, so it's going to have to be Snow Warning, which could tank my strategy a little bit, but get Healing Wish, even in Ninetales. That changes things, actually. It's going to be regular Ninetales. I like the idea of Drought so that Charizard has an option, but that kind of nerfs Spurt. Do you have any fire types? You don't have any fire types. And I really thought this thing got Healing Wish. I don't need Freeze Dry for anything. Moonblast's better. It hits the Quick Quavel. This thing is also going to be a good soft check to Quick Quavel. Bad into Scizor. Bad into Glamora. Potentially good into the rest of the team. We'll see. It's a lot different now that I see that it doesn't get Healing Wish. Yeah, part of my plan here was to get a Healing Wish off into Charizard or Swampert, get them going. That is honestly making me reconsider having Ninetales on this team, and because I think that this thing is, you know, I'll check that in a sec. For now, I'm saying work at Healing Wish. It's regular Vulpix. Right, noted. So if I want Healing Wish, it's going to have to be from Ninetales. I think that I pressure Quavel pretty well. I think that I'm pressuring Tangrowth pretty well. My T sweepers have all these three Charizard, Pelipper, Swampert have ways of dealing with Tangrowth. Raging Bolt. Let me see what Ninetales Alola is doing into Raging Bolt with Blizzard. There's Blizzard on there. Let's see some damage. There's another consideration here is I could just have this. Make it look like I'm setting up screens to get in Charizard, Swampert, whatever, and I can just spam Specs Blizzards. Because what does he have that can really switch into a Blizzard? Scizor. Makes at least, 30%. That's decent. And if I get 30% on Scizor, I'm going to call that a win. And this is a bulky Scizor. What else does he have that could come in on a Blizzard? Ursaluna Blood Moon. Let's see what that does. That's got no special defense, so that's great. Raging Bolt. So much damage. But it does to Blizzard. That's great. A Quavel. It gets 2 KO'd, so that's not too bad. And Moonblast will kill it. Glamora. Got a chance of dying. Tangrowth. Great. Retail. Say we're in some universe where this is still pretty good. And I don't think they do it on that set. Talonflame. Okay, so I kind of like the idea of this thing looking like it's going to be a Veilmon and just spamming Blizzard. It's going to want Moonblast. I probably want the Time Pass on it, just so that I have an option of pivoting. And let's see what other moves I could run. Encore is too bad on a Blizzard set. I think that Heal Bell, in case I do get burned with Swampert and Charizard, is possible. So let's put that there. I'm not trying to be nasty plot. But no, nasty plot's no good because it's Scizor. Because he can just always come in and bullet punch me. That's never going to be good. I wish I had some way of stopping Scissor Bullet Punch, but I really don't. So I've got Pelipper as a soft check, Charizard as a soft check, and then here's I think what I'm going to do with the Ninetales set. They're 252 modest. I don't need a lot of speed. I think Lamora was 298. Yeah, 298. So let's call it 2020. And the rest I can put in hit points. That might be enough that I live a. No, I definitely died. Scissor Bullet Punch. Scissor 100% out of the time will kill me without any attack as long as it has Bullet Punch. So looking at my team, I maybe as my last spot here, I want something that's a little bit better of a Caesar check. I had a couple other thoughts of things that I could run for this team. Some other things that I thought would be good, just kind of looking at the rest of my roster, are well, let me eliminate all the Pokemon that I'm definitely not. Castform, not coming. Snover, not coming. Vanillix, maybe. I mean, Blizzard spam is good, but I don't really want two Blizzard spam mons. Spam, blah, blah, spam mons. And Ninetale's going to do a good enough job of that. Pissimian, Politoed, Hippopotam. Those are the three mons that I have left that are really under consideration. Um, I obviously could bring Ninetales, but if I'm bringing Ninetales, then I can't bring Alolan Ninetales, so I would just take that spot. I'll think about it a little more, but I kind of like the. I don't want to have too many of the same types just because it'll make whatever checks he has for fire moves check two of my mons. I like him having to have something for ice mons, and he might not have something for Ninetales because I think Rain is the obvious strategy, and I think Sun is the obvious backup strategy. So I've got these three things that I can consider. So Pissimian, if I run something, it's probably going to be some sort of sharp set. Politoed, let's look at its stats. You know, somewhat decent bulk. Um, bulky sort of guy, possibly secondary rain setter. And then Hippowdon, it's really kind of a Fizdef mon, Fizdef. Um, I really wouldn't want it to run sand, so it would mostly just be a Fizdef check, has rocks. I don't have anything with hazards, so Hippowdon is an option. Hippowdon does okay into Scizor. This is a fully spit up Hippowdon, but Scizor turn, not really doing a ton. Combat, not doing a ton, and that's with no physical bulk. So Hippowdon I'll put in the pros column. Checks Scizor. It's a little bit set up fodder for Quaquaval though, and I think that one of the ways I lose is getting swept by. Quaquaval could be something like Sword Stance. If it's Sword Stance is up, then it's going to be +3, +1 speed. That's going to be tough. Get into Ursaluna and Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt, takes a lot from this. I take a lot from that, but we're at least trading. It's a little bit weak to Glamora in terms of Glamora getting up hazards and then Hippowdon having to come in on him. Tangrowth can come in for free. Scrim Token Encore at Toxicate can't really do too much back, and probably not going to have him to hit Talonflame. So really, if I bring this, it's going to be just Zero Check. Let's look into Politoed and see how it does against these guys. So Scizor into Politoed. If I'm in rain, I'm doing some damage back. It's not doing a ton to me. Safe this combat. Even in SD, that's not doing a lot. So soft Scizor. Check. Put that in this pros. Secondary rain. It's a bit farmed by Quaquaval. which is tough, but it lives 1 at +2. So soft, whack, check. But it doesn't really have anything back to threaten it. There's a lot to Ursaluna, but that's the wrong one. Kills Ursaluna even with no investment, so that's good. Probably outspeeds it. Raging Bolt fodder. I'm really not going to be able to do anything to touch Raging Bolt, and it always kills my Thunderclap. Glamora, kill it, but it can get a hazard still. Tangrowth. Tangrowth is about 50-50. So if I catch it with an Ice Beam on the switch in, that's great. Um, but obviously it's kind of problematic otherwise. Doesn't do a lot in the Screamtail. Talonflame, it gets into Talonflame. And it gets a lot of good utility moves too. One thing I was considering is doing Water Absorb to switch into Quick Quavel Aqua Steps, but the thing is, if I'm running this Fizz Def anyway, then that Aqua Step is not going to be doing a ton. And I think it's, although, that isn't rain. I would be getting up rain again though, which could be really helpful for Swampert. It makes me a little weak to, makes me more weak to electric moves, Raging Bolt, but I've got a Charizard that turns into a resist. Domize is a resist, Swampert's immune. So I think that's okay. It gives me another grass weakness, but his only grass type is Tangrowth, which Swampert has a way of dealing with ish. Pelipper deals with fine. Domize doesn't deal with it, but it's not threatened by it. And Charizard threatens Tangrowth. A good bit says Ninetales. So it's not too bad in terms of adding weaknesses. I really just want to think about whether there's something that I could be doing better with this thing than just running Fizz Def as a Scizor check. Let's go through it. So I doubt it gets Fire Move. Yeah, no Fire Move. You can always Encore Scizor on something like a Swords Dance. So that could be nice for switching into Scizor. I could switch in if I switch in on a Roost or a Defog or a Swords Dance, and I can Encore it and then just pressure out with Scald. Probably want Ice Beam for Tangrowth. And let's just look at some of the other moves it could have. It could be Parasong. I've run a Whirlpool Parasong Politoed before. It's okay. It's decent. But I don't think that there's really too much that I can trap here that's not going to kill me in 3 turns. I bounce Bubble Beam. There's this Ice Ball, Icy Wind. Mostly. Okay. I thought this thing had a better move pool than it does. Counter is a possibility. I think probably I want. Reason being, um, with these 2 moves, other than Quick Wave, I kind of want something for Quick Wave. Let's see how this does. So let's say I throw Psychic onto this set. That's okay. That means I'm 2 AK on Quick Wave. If he close combats, I'll be at -1. And then something like a Delmize can come in, Pelipper can come in. I'm still so Quick Wave weak. It's really scary. Because if he gets an Aqua Step on something and he's, +2, then he's killing me. I wish I had any priority whatsoever. But even with Swampert, so 269, Jolly. So even if he gets +1, he's only going to be at 442, and I'll outspeed him. Okay, so I've got a lot of things that softly check with Wibble, but it looks really scary. But there's not a whole lot I can do about that. I think that this is good for dealing with Scizor. Let's go bold. I think that being able to Psychic Quick Wibble is going to be useful. I have to hope that it's going to be useful. And that if I hit a Psychic and he Swords Dances and then kills me, or something, that Swampert can come in on +1 speed and revenge kill it. Yeah, I think Psychic is a good move, because I think that Surf only doing 48%. I mean, that's enough for Swampert to come into a KO, but Quaquaval could have some defense, could have leftovers. So I think that Psychic, just to do a good chunk to it, makes sense. I think that I really don't want to be running around with Protect because if he Swords Dances with Sidor or Quaquaval, that's going to be bad. Um, I think that having this thing to just come in on Raging Bolt is going to be good. Ninetales does okay into it. If I read a Dragon move, I think that's all. So I've got, two Fizdef Mons, two water types. They're not that bulky, but they're bulky enough that I think that they'll be able to kind of check Caesar and Quaquaval. For Raging Bolt, I've got the Stelmaz. I've got kind of a bait Dragon Charizard set that hopefully I can belly drum on a Thunderclap or something like that. I've got a Swampert immune to Thunderclap that can EQ it, and I've got Ninetales that can spam Blizzard. Glamora, I'm hoping that Delmize can deal with it off the lead if I think that he's going to lead Glamora based on his team structure and Earthquake it, or Heavy Slam it and then try to get a Rapid Spin to kill it. If it's Focus Sash, then maybe I get an Earthquake into a Rapid Spin for free. He doesn't have any spin blocker other than a Terra Gradient, but it'd be a Gradient that's switching in as normal. Tangrowth, I got a lot to deal with Tangrowth. Pelipper kills it. Charizard kills it. Ninetales kills it. Politoed 2 KOs it. I don't really want to trade Giga Drain, Ice Beam, but if he's Giga Draining, then it's an opportunity to come in on Charizard. And Swampert's got an Ice Beam to catch it on the switch in. I do like Flip Turn here. I think just more pivots going to be useful and give me more chances to get in Charizard and reset Rain. Screamtail is always hard to get through. I hope that between Specs Blizzard, Encore, Belly Drum, Steel Move, somewhat Strong Hurricane, and Swampert that I'll be able to get through Screamtail. He can only wall Swampert or Ninetales. He can't really wall both. So I think that that's fine. Talonflame. Talonflame doesn't really threaten Politoed or Pelipper. Burns have been annoying, but I do have Heal Bell as a worst case scenario. I have some recovery, so that's fine. And then Malamar, he could be superpower. If he brings superpower, good for him. I don't have any bug moves, but I do have Moonblast from Specs, so that'll be fine. And then Greedent, I don't think Greedent's good enough to make the squad. I think that I've got a decent check into everything. I have some pivot with Baton Pass, U-turn, and Flip Turn. I don't have any hazards whatsoever. Hazards are not part of the plan. My only hazard setter is Baudon, and I think Baudon just is a little bit too passive, and there's a lot of Pokemon that he just can't really touch. And Swampert, I think that Swampert is just better off attacking. I think every time Swampert clicks an attack, it's got a good chance of getting a kill as long as I pick the right move. Yeah, and that's the team structure. I've got Rapid Spin. I don't have Defog, so Delmize is definitely pressured, but I think Delmize can spin against a lot of these guys. That's the team. How do I think it's going to go? I'm less confident in this week than I am going into Eden, and I lost against Eden. It was close, but I lost, and I didn't really have a shot. Eden even missed Stone Axe against me, and I still lost due to aggressive glide roll, but it is what it is. I think that with Eden's team, having that grassy terrain core gives me something very like a play style to prepare for. But Ikana's team is just a list of good Mons, Scizor or Selena Raging Bolt. There's a reason that all these Mons are low points. It's because they're not that good. They do things like set weather that is very strong. Swampert has Swift Swim, which is really good. But I think that unfortunately these higher point Mons, the Mons that aren't just there to be part of a rain core, they have a bit of that I'm just a little bit better than you at everything effect, where when I'm putting a team together, my 6 guys, I can build specific counters, but Ninetales just has a lower base stat total than, Ursaluna Bloodmoon. At least I assume. I think that it does. And so when he puts 6 Mons on a team, Scizor, Ursaluna, Raging Bolt, let's say Tangrowth, Quavel, Screamtail, yeah, it was 6 Mons, they're just going to be better on average at forming a cohesive team, and that's going to make it tough. That said, I think that I've got a lot of kind of tricks in here, like the Ice Beam on Swampert, enough special attack to really threaten a lot of his team with Pelipper. The AV super bulky Delmize that should be able to spin off any hazards. Just this goes off great. That's all we're gonna say about it. Specs, Ninetales, and then this is kind of a very basic Polytech set, but I think it's got a chance. So I think that I've got a lot that's built specifically for his team, but I think that his team runs into a bit of the my mons are just better than yours barrier. So I think that he's favored going to this one, but I'll see what I can do. I noted it early in the season. Ikana really depth his team. He's always looking for trades. I'm hoping that I can really get into his head with some fear when he looks at this team that, clearly has this rain core built into it, and maybe get him to play a little worse than he would normally. But we'll see. We're playing on Thursday. We're playing tomorrow, and I'll post this video afterwards, and I'll see what I do. Thanks everyone for watching who's made it this far.